Hi, good morning, Philippines, and to the rest of the world. Welcome again to another digital series here in the Philippines with Red Panda TV. By the way, I'm your host, Mike Yu. People have been wondering what to do with their businesses when the quarantine started. People who have their traditional businesses have been asking, what can we do right after this lockdown? Is going digital the best way to go? Or do I still open my store in a mall, in any of our alleyways here? So, with me today is a very special guest, someone who has been in this scenario and has been teaching people on how to go to digital or how to go digital in their businesses. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you our special guest for today. Her name is Miss Kathi Reneses. Hi, Kathi, how are you?
Hi, Mike. Good morning. I'm good. Thank you. You?
I'm great. I'm great. So, how's everything there? How's the quarantine been helping you out?
Oh, it's been pretty quiet for me. I work from home on a regular basis anyway, so there is no real like huge shift when it comes to, change to my life in general. It's just I stay home a lot more, so my dogs are happier.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me something about what you do and how do you help the industry in going digital?
Well, I do a couple of things. I have a couple of hats. I work as an executive well-being coach. So what that is I actually help go into companies and help change the culture scape to have happier employees, creating like loving leaders and thriving teams. I also work with a lot of small businesses and help them pivot to online a lot of the time and kind of assist them with that.
Great.
I also work as a digital marketer. I have been for the past 10 years.
Wow.
So I started off with, I was one of the founding members of what was then Groupon Philippines.
Oh.
Um, and then, yeah, so one of the requirements back then to be featured on the site was to have some sort of online presence. So at least to have a working, Facebook fan page or a website. And that's when I kind of realized that there was a missing bridge between, social media, getting people online to linking it to like their service. And so after my kind of stint with Groupon, I put up a social media agency with a couple of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we would work with like Greenwich and Jamba Juice
Wow.
and all of that. And then eventually I put up my own just because I really enjoy working with SMEs a lot more. It's a lot more fun to work on a brand that you can play around with rather than one that already has like their set, rules for like branding and marketing.
That's correct.
Um, right. So like from there, that's what I've kind of been teaching people. Like, how do you get excited about your brand and how do you get excited about your business and how do you transition that experience online?
Nice. So, right now, like what our topic for today is how do you come from a digital or come from a traditional business and make it digital?
Hmm.
Can we differentiate what is a traditional business? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Well, for me, I think a traditional business is one that usually has brick and mortar, right? Like there's usually a store involved, there is usually staff involved, there is, you're paying for those overheads, or like you're paying rent somewhere,
Yeah.
and that for me I think is the major difference between a traditional and online business is just having to deal with all of that, all more of the physical, having a physical location and dealing with people.
I see. I see. So, with our current scenario, with our current pandemic, do you
Hmm.
think what will be the next move for this traditional business?
Well, to be honest, it really depends on the business. But from what I'm seeing, a lot of businesses are really pivoting online. So, either they've kind of played around with the idea before, but never really thought to take it seriously and are now really looking into how to make that mark online.
Mm-hmm.
And then for a couple of others, it really is about how do they present either the same experience for their clients or a totally different experience for their clients when they move to digital.
Okay.
So, it's kind of interesting seeing where things are going, but I think it really depends on the industry as well.
I see. I see. So, any pros and cons do you think if our traditional business jumps into digital?
Um, well, I guess in terms of cons, if we start there,
Yeah.
definitely, if you do have a staff, if you do keep a staff of 3, 5, 10 people, I think looking to see how you can move them into different positions in the company might be a challenge. So
Yeah.
let's say like if a restaurant decides to do home deliveries because they can't open the restaurant, the front the front house staff is probably the number one that's going to be affected. So either you kind of figure out how to have them like take in delivery orders and kind of transition them to that for the meantime, while of course the back of house, the kitchen, is going to be thriving because they're the ones that's going to be putting out the orders. I think another con is, like, at least for me, it's probably getting that experience.
Mm-hmm.
If especially if you're a service and you interact with a lot of people, it is a little bit different when you do it online. So you do need to kind of custom custom your approach and kind of look at it at a different way. So whatever marketing that you've been doing as a traditional business will probably vary, or you need to change your approach once you move online.
Okay.
A pro, though, I think for making the move is, number one, like, you don't have the extra overhead costs of like rent. You can be agile and keep a smaller staff with you,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can kind of pivot and change with the times.
Okay.
Um, and I think another pro as well is just you get to kind of reach a wider audience,
Oh.
as to get your message across, instead of, like one to one that you would usually have when you still had like the traditional business. If that
I
makes
s-
sense.
yes, I see. I see. So,
Yeah.
I believe that your company is currently doing that right now, helping traditional business going into digital business. So, can you tell me more about that company of yours? Maybe for those people who are interested in getting her services, please feel free to tell us what you actually do during. Can you or give me a brief run through on how you actually help people from traditional business going to digital business?
Yeah, sure. So I've melded my passion for both digital marketing and coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I've come up with coaching creativepreneurs. So
Yeah.
it's actually a 6-week program where I kind of help and kind of coach people who kind of want to move their businesses that they've been doing online. So I use the word creativepreneur. It's not something that I made up, I promise.
But
It's
it sounds
actually
really
it's a
great, man.
Right. It's a pretty new job designation. It was pretty much unheard of before, I think, the 1990s probably, and it really started taking off with the widespread adoption of the internet and smartphones this past decade. A creativepreneur, it's similar to an entrepreneur. So we also take risks to build assets in the hope of like yielding a profit. But I think the three main differences is, number one, like, you create the business out of either a passion, mission, or sense of purpose, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe all three.
Okay.
We primarily work in the digital space.
Yes.
So, at the most, like, I would hire like a virtual assistant, a graphic designer, web developer if I need to kind of expand or scale my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the third one is, we understand the creative principles, right? So instead of pivoting to adjust to the times, like, we're always thinking about what is the best way to present like a product or service, and what online platform is the best one to use in order to get that message across.
I see. So,
Yeah.
Um, okay, going back to traditional businesses, where do you think
Hmm.
right now? Which are the businesses will be easy for you to shift from traditional to digital? Which businesses do you think can you guys can help them shift easily
Ooh,
from
that's
traditional to
interesting.
yeah?
I think for me, I think the easiest to shift will definitely be most of like probably the service industry. So like for example, right now you have a lot of, let's say, like doctors and accountants and lawyers who in the past, like, you would go to their office and you would kind of interact with them there. Now a lot of them are doing more teleconsults.
Mm.
So, they're getting smarter about using platforms like Zoom or Skype. And, they're trying to look for ways in order to still be able to interact with clients,
Mm.
and still get business done without having to do it face to face.
Mm-hmm.
And from, the feedback that I've been getting, a lot of them prefer it that way. Like they're realizing, like, there was some concern at first because about, like, for us it's all about the experience. It's all about experiencing somebody and, okay, I like you, so I think I'll choose to work with you.
Correct.
And a lot of the fear before the lockdown was, I'm not sure if I could connect with, like, the client. If it's digital, it feels so impersonal. But I think because we're all forced into lockdown and we're all forced to interact online,
Yeah.
we're starting to realize that, it does work. Like, it's just been something that I've been fighting because I didn't want to learn the technology, but I have to now. And, it's actually working out pretty well for them. So I definitely the service industry, product industry, industries that have products, like the food industry, for example. I think that they're thriving right now, simply because, we're bored.
That's correct.
we're bored at home. Like, for the restaurant industry, for the past month, I've been cooking my own meals, and I guess for the first kind of 3-4 weeks I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of done with my very limited, like, menu options. And I'm looking for something else. And, I've been buying and supporting all these lovely, lovely small businesses, by ordering delivery. And, it's turning into the norm. Like, most of our Facebook conversations now is, guys, where can I buy, like, the best, and then, insert food here. Like, that's what it's turned into. So, I think, like, for most industries, the possibility of moving online, is real. Like, we can really do it. I think it's just that we're just so stuck in that idea of, I have to have, like, a physical store
Correct.
in order to, get my message or get my product across.
I see. I see. So, I know you're a busy girl, so I will not take much of your time. But please do introduce your company. So for those people who would like to get your services, please share it.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually own and run a company called coachinghappiness.ph. That is where I primarily work as I said, as an executive life coach. I also do one-on-one life coaching. So, if your struggle is around, you have a business and you want to bring it online and you're kind of looking for the tools to do that, I'd be more than happy to sit down and do, some business coaching with you. The Coaching Creativepreneurs is a group coaching session, that you can hop into if you don't want to do one-on-one. We just started, last Saturday, so you can still hop on. We still haven't got into the meat and potatoes of, creating, that shift. The wonderful thing about the group coaching is one of the requirements is for you to actually come out with, a physical, like, mini business plan.
Oh,
So, you can really apply everything that you're learning. Plus, you get, 3 one-on-one coaching slash mentoring sessions with me where we can go through your plan, go through whatever roadblocks you're currently experiencing, and, really try and find, the easiest way for you to really get whatever your business is, to get that experience across to your audience in a way that speaks true to you,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that your personality comes through. You aren't just copy pasting, whatever you feel is popular at the moment to try and get people to engage with you, but really how do you create those authentic connections online is what I try and teach and try to get through. So do please check that out.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach me on Facebook, on Instagram, or on my website. The handles are all just coachinghappiness.ph. And yeah, if you have any questions around that or want to explore being a creativepreneur, feel free to send me a PM.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So, thank you again. Thank you very much again, Kathi, for your time right now. So,
Nah, thanks, Mike.
before we end this show, I know, like what we told our friend Jonas Nang from James and Daughter, we'll do a shameless plug since you are the one
Yes.
handling their marketing service. So, I'm going to, before I end the show, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in eating in No Borders cuisine, please join or please call James and Daughters for one of their scrumptious meal. They're currently doing deliveries right now. So again,
Yes, what I
Kathy,
love about James and Daughters,
yeah,
let me just plug this also real quick. What I love about James and Daughters is they don't really stick to one cuisine.
yes,
So Jonas, like the whole history behind James and Daughters is they're really a family of foodies. And what Chef Jonas has done is he's brought all of his favorite like family dishes that they've kind of discovered all around the world into this one restaurant. So the beauty I think of ordering from them is you're not just stuck with one cuisine. You could really kind of take your taste buds on a trip around the world with the stuff that he offers.
mm-hmm.
So definitely right after this, we are
Going to order from
we're
them.
going to be posting the menu. So yeah, please order, explore it. He has a lot of he has a lot of really awesome dishes that you really can't get anywhere else. Plus, everything is locally sourced, so you really are supporting a lot of local small businesses in the country.
By the way, before I mention, this is also one of your project that I think they started from a traditional business, a brick and mortar shop in Essentia. Am I correct? Or Estancia?
Estancia, yeah.
Estancia. And then right now, you're currently doing their digitalization in order for them to be able to reach a broader scale here in the Philippines.
Yeah, so I'm very lucky with Jonas because he is one of those clients who is just open for anything, which is I think also one of the reasons why it was also very easy for him to pivot. We already put up his website. All the dishes are there to look at. So if you kind of want to see, what it is that you're possibly ordering, you can go ahead and check out jamesanddaughters.ph. And I think also because he is a small business owner, he really is agile enough to really pivot into offering. He does cooked meals and he does frozen as well. So it really is up to you how you want to order his dishes. But yeah, I think that's the beauty of being a small business owner, right? You can really adjust to the times. It just depends on, I guess, like how fast you want to adapt.
Correct, correct.
Um, right? It's even playing field now because you have all these big companies, who are forced to like shutter their businesses for the meantime, and it's taking them a while to pivot online, and they're still trying to figure out what to do with the rest of their staff, as compared to small business owners like Jonas,
Mm.
where it's basically, like where do I work out of a commissary and how many dishes do I want to do, you know? So it's interesting.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So again, at least for here for Red Panda TV and digital series, we'll be expecting more from Kathi very soon. Since thank you again, Kathi, for your time right now.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is our series for today. For those people who are interested in more series, please join us again on Wednesday for another special episode. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike Yu from Red Panda TV and looking forward in more episodes with you guys. Thank you.